Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Logan-Nowlin, and welcome to another episode of Live to Be Well. I've been interviewing couples and men and women, talking about their relationships and talking about the issues of why they even began coming to counseling. Today, once again, I cannot put that person on camera due to confidentiality, but I want you to hear their voice. Emotional affairs. I want to welcome you to Live to Be Well. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Why did you call me for a counseling session?
Well, as a man, you sometimes figure you can handle things yourself, but there were so many questions that I didn't have answers for, and I needed a different perspective. I needed someone that could possibly get to the root of it all, even to the point to see if I was partially responsible for what happened.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I found out after time when the person I was with was coming home a little later. There were times she was getting dressed for work. It seemed like she was putting that little extra care in there, that little extra makeup, hairstyle, brush, all of that good stuff. And that was nice. But then when she came home, she got out of it all right there. And she did seem to be less attentive to me and seemed to be preoccupied and happy about something else.
At that time, did you think that your partner was having an affair, or was it an emotional affair? What did you think was going on?
Well, my first thought, I try not to think the negative. I thought maybe she just decided I just want to look like this, and there's nothing wrong with you want to look nice going to work. You don't have to dress down.
That's right.
But after a while, you start noticing it was that little bit extra effort. But when those things were coming home late, longer conversations on the phone, seem to really be happy when you're on the phone talking with someone, or when you come in, seem to be like you were in another world somewhere. So, of course, that little red flag went up in my mind. Again, I try not to think the worst, but I also had to say something is different.
Something was different. Let me ask you, you said you may have felt like, you were responsible. Why? Did you neglect? Did you ignore? Did you, not give the type of attention that she needed?
Well, right off the bat, I don't like to assume that someone else is doing something wrong.
Okay.
Is it something I've done?
Okay.
And as I looked at myself in the mirror and was honest, there are things I could probably have been better at or put a little more time in. But then after a while I said, but that wouldn't trigger all of that because the person hasn't made any attempt to have a conversation with me on something that was bothering her.
Let me ask you this. What were your emotions at that time? Because it's important, and let me say this to everyone who's viewing this, that you do not act impulsively. You get your facts. You understand what's going on in your situation, in your home. So the question is, where were your emotions at that time when you started to see the red flags?
Well, my emotions were, is it something that I've done? And then, of course, as a guy, and you seeing these little things going on in the home, as far as getting dressed, coming in a little late, on the phone a little more. Well, my thoughts went to, is there somebody else in the picture that's giving her a little pleasure or satisfaction? Not necessarily sexual, but it appeared that someone else has her attention or something else has her attention, and it wasn't me.
Because let me ask you, did the texting stop, phone call stop? Let me pick you up for lunch. No, I'm working over. What were some of the other actual red flags? Because was this person on your partner's job? Did they work together?
Well, they interacted, and some of the things that she was doing, I wasn't invited to be a part of it.
It's something when you start seeing that you're no longer included in different work functions or activities or even church functions. You begin to see that you're excluded from different things where you were once going to all these things. Well, where are you going? Well, I'm going to a meeting. Well, you had a meeting 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. All of a sudden, you have a lot of meetings. Be aware of the red flags and don't be afraid to what? Ask questions. Before we started this segment, you stated that you had a slogan. What was that slogan?
A slogan was that emotional affairs don't begin in bedrooms. They begin with conversations.
They do. People are looking to have good conversations with people, but you have to make sure that you are not leading that person down the wrong path, because someone may think it's more than what it is, and you're just having a simple conversation with them. So it does not begin in the bedroom. Emotional affairs are not sexual. It is strictly about the conversation, meeting the need, the void, the emptiness. But does not mean it cannot become sexual, because it does happen. Let me ask you now, since we've been in counseling, working on understanding your truth, your responsibility, how are you now holding yourself accountable?
Sometimes when you finally get the facts, you look at yourself first and you say, what is it that I could have done different? And maybe sometimes you just don't get answers. But so if you don't have an answer, you look at yourself. What is it I could have given more of, more attentive to, kept a spark there? And I haven't got answers from that person, but when you don't know, you just look at yourself and say, this is what I want to do. I can be honest with myself and say, this is what I could have done different. And in a future relationship, I'll be more attentive to that.
Let me say to you who have you've been in relationships, or you may be young, take your time. Allow the Lord to lead you to that right person. If you've gone through a loss of a spouse, pace yourself, take your time, and don't be afraid to tell that person that may be interested in you, you may be interested in them, but I'm not ready. It's okay. And also, when you have been hurt, you're not damaged goods. Let me say this to you. That was one aspect of your life. It does not define you. Dr. Kim always talks about accountability, being aware, red flags, also recognizing your needs. What are your needs? What do you desire? What do you want? Do you feel that you're settling? And then you see things in your relationship, but you ignore them. People ignore the red flags out of fear. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. We ignore them because we don't want to believe that that's what it could be. It may not be, but we want to believe, there's no way in the world she's messed with some other guy. And then I do believe emotional affairs can turn into sexual affairs because there's a trust factor that develops, and that each person has a need. And so once I get to the point where I can trust you, you can trust me, I won't tell this, you won't tell that. Then we get together and we just believe this will never go past this. Next thing you know, you've done something. Now you come back to your husband, guilt takes over. And now he's wondering, well, where's all this attention coming from all of a sudden? Now there's another red flag comes up.
Because we used to argue, now I don't argue anymore because someone else is listening to me. Again, the reason why Dr. Logan is doing these segments, this is something new, because people have a voice. And I want to give people a voice, but yet they don't want to come on camera because of confidentiality. But yet they want to help you understand that you're not alone. Emotional affairs happen, but we're here to let you know these are some of the red flags that you need to be aware of. Have things changed? Things have shifted. I'm no longer communicating with you. I'm no longer dialoguing with you. I'm staying out later, or I'm not even coming home, or I'm making excuses not to be together. Be honest, be upfront, be truthful, because it's not right to hurt another human being. A person that loves you, wants to care for you, treasure you, honor you, and respect you, but yet they want it to be reciprocated. And it's important to want to feel that love. Everyone wants to be loved, but it has to be healthy love. Just like they say, all money is not good money. All love is not healthy for you. And you have to seek God's wisdom and counsel to understand what is good and healthy. For those of you who are married, be aware, communicate with your spouse. Open the line of that dialogue, and don't be ready to accuse, but ask questions. Asking questions can resolve a lot of problems in your relationship. I want to thank you for coming on today, Live to Be Well. Are you going to continue your therapy sessions with me?
Yes, definitely.
Tell me why.
Because I don't want to get to the point where I'm making the same mistake that she may have made and figure, I got it figured out now. We talked about something, okay, that's it. I want to be sure I stay on top of that. be sure I address those issues, improve the communication line, and of course, got to show love.
How to show love. Love yourself. You know, there's going to be some quiet moments, but like I said, celebrate the wins, whether they're small, medium, or large. Celebrate you, celebrate your relationship, enjoy one another. But let me say this to you, seek God in everything you do. I'm Dr. Kim Logan-Nowlin, and thank you for joining me on another episode. Dr. Kim, I need help. Live to be well. God bless.